dudes, I'm Hilah, and today on Hilah Cooking we're making old-fashioned mac and cheese. This is a great holiday side dish, or it could be a vegetarian main dish if you're into meatless Monday but you still want to have a cheesy Monday. Okay, so you want to get some macaroni. This is the mac part. So I'm going to use a small elbow because that's classic. So go ahead and get a big pot of water. Well, you don't need that much water, but get some water boiling. So we're going to cook this in a little bit. But first, we'll make our cheesy sauce. So if you've ever made gravy, like sausage gravy or anything like that, you've basically also made cheesy sauce. So we're going to start out. We're just making a bechamel, and then we'll add 3 different cheeses. Ooh la la. For the bechamel, we'll start out with a roux, which means we start out with some butter. So I've got my butter in a saucepan here. We're gonna melt that over medium heat. Once that's melted, we can whisk in some flour, so just all-purpose flour, and get that cooked for maybe 60 seconds or so until it starts to smell a little bit nutty and toasty. Then we can add some seasonings with salt and some dry mustard, which you could leave out if you don't keep it on hand, or you could add a little squirt of regular yellow mustard. And I'm gonna use white pepper because my grandma always used white pepper whenever she would make macaroni and cheese because it blends into the sauce nicer and doesn't leave little flecks, but you can use black pepper too, it won't make a big difference. Then we can add in our milk, and if your diet will allow, you can do extra creamy and use whole milk, but I'm using a 2% milk here. You start out by whisking in about half the milk. Make sure there's no lumps, and let it bubble a little bit to start to thicken, and then we can add the rest of the milk. We're just gonna cook this until it starts to thicken. And then once that flour has started to thicken up the sauce, we can turn the heat off and stir in our cheese. So I'm using a mix here. I'm using some sharp cheddar that's gonna make it, be cheesy and cheddary. And I'm using some Gouda because Gouda melts really, really well and makes a nice smooth cheese sauce. And then I'm using some Parmesan for a little bit of extra saltiness and nutty, cheesy flavor. As soon as you add the cheese, the sauce thickens up quite a bit too, even though it's off the heat. So you get your cheeses mixed in, and then you can just set your sauce aside while we cook the noodles. So once the water comes to a boil, you wanna add the noodles in, and whatever the package says, cut that in half. So if it says like 6 minutes, do 3 minutes or something. We really just wanna parboil these noodles so that when they're in the oven, there's room for them to soak up all the cheesy sauce, and they'll finish cooking in the oven. So now we can drain the noodles, and then you just want to mix your drained noodles in with the sauce. Don't rinse your noodles, and you don't even really need to drain them that well. You don't need to make sure they're dry or anything. A little bit of moisture on there is great. So we'll mix that all together, and then we're just going to pour it into an oiled dish. Sprinkle some breadcrumbs on top. If you want to add a little more cheese, you can do that on top too. And then we'll bake it at 350 for 20 to 30 minutes until it's nice and golden and bubbly. Okay. Bubbly, nice crispy brown top, looks gorgeous. If you like this recipe, I also did a scalloped potatoes recipe last year, cheesy scalloped potatoes. If you like cheesy starchy things, if you like cheesy starches. Okay, so let's give this a taste. Oh my God, the little crust on top. I'm telling you, I'm real excited about this. Oh my God. Wow. So this printable recipe and all our recipes are always available at highlighcooking.com, and I'll put a link in the description box below. If you want to make this, I would love for you to make it and then send me a picture on Instagram or Facebook or something. Good Lord, I'm gonna burn my mouth. Perfect homemade mac and cheese. Swear to God, I love the blue box, but this is really something special. So I hope you make this. Leave a comment. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see y'all next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.